Hi guys, in this video we're going to be looking at linking to specific parts of one page, right? So you're just linking to different parts of this page. To do that, we use something called the ID. All right, so we add an ID element to the tag. I'll explain that in a bit, right? So basically, when we're creating elements, right, so the way we have welcome to my links and we have all those links, if we're going to create a new element, so let's say it's a paragraph, we need to say PID, so we need to use an ID element to the P, so in the same place where the P is, so before we close the P, and we have to give it a name. You can call it anything you like. Think about IDs as like an identity. You want to be able to identify this document, but it's different from the other paragraphs. You want to be able to identify this document later, so we use the ID. So think about it like that, right? So give it any name you like. So I'm going to call this top, like top of the page, right? And now you can type whatever you like here. So I'm going to take stuff I have here already, so you can type anything here, right? And type it here. I want to make it as many as possible, so it's just, you're just typing inside the paragraph, right? So you just look for files and save. Oops, sorry. Just look for files and so you see there's a lot of pages, right? It's a lot of stuff, but I need to be able to get to the end of the page. So right now I have documents, but it's right at the top. Okay, let's just add one more so that it is full. So you see, I want to be able to move from the top of the page to the end of the page, right? So in one HTML document, I have paragraph, so I have PID equals top, and in between the P's, I've pasted all this text, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Now I would have another document, another P, and I'll call the ID, an identification, bottom. So this is going to be the end of the document. Actually, we can make this an H1 so that it's easy to see that as the end of the document. So this is the end of the document. Let's say something like that. All right, and save it. Now to see that, right now if you look at this page, you can't find it, right? So to see it, we have to go all the way to the end of this document. So that's how we know that this is the end. How about if we can just click on a link here and it takes us to the document under, so we don't have to scroll down, we just click and it takes us. And so you can have something like that that takes you to different parts of the same website. So how do we do that? First step is that we've created an ID for the first one. So the top is called ID equals top in the paragraph. The second one is H1 ID equals bottom. So that's what we're going to be using in the linking part. So when we come here, now we create a different list. So we say lists, and then now we say a, which is a link. Now we're going to be referencing the ID. So it's going to be the ID of top. So we use the hashtag. That's how we reference the ID. So using the hashtag references the ID. And let's call this top, just so it takes us to the top, right? And then save that. So now we have the link top, but we need another link for bottom, right? So it means that we can move back and forth as we wish by just clicking on the link. So href equals the hashtag of bottom, because we saved it as bottom. Yep. And then let's call this bottom and then save it. So before now we have to scroll through to get to the end, right? But now when we click on the top, on the bottom, it should take us to the end of the document. So you see it took us to the end of the document, right? If there's a top, actually we can create a link under here that says top, right? So just right at the end of this document, let's create a link. So let's break it down, bring it down, right? And now let's create a link for and then call this hashtag top here. And this should take us to the top of the document. All right, so let's start again. So this is top, takes us to the top, bottom, sorry, we need to the bottom. So bottom, so this is the end of the document, and then top takes us to the top of the document. So you can see, so we're at the top of the document, which is where the paragraph starts, and bottom takes us to the end of the document. So basically that's how you link to different pages different parts of one page. All right, so I want you to, an assignment is to basically create this document, create a document and link to an external website, 2, link to an internal website, and then 3, link to a website, a page within one page, right? So you're linking to different parts of one page. So 1, you're linking to an external website. 2, you're linking to different parts of your website, so you're linking to different folders or different files. And 3, you're linking to the same page but different parts of that page. I hope that's clear. All right, and then you can submit it with Git. You can just share your Git link, your GitHub page link. You can watch the video on Git to get familiar with Git and how to install, how to work with Git. Once you're done with this assignment, push your files to Git so we can see it. All right, guys, that's about it, and I'll see you in the next video.